All right, guys. So this morning we're making up a change. You know, I hunted that area yesterday where I killed my deer at, and there was like 13 trucks that parking area, and everybody's going back kind of in the same area. So I'm kind of bailing out of there. I'm actually going somewhere that I really haven't been. Just looks great on the map, and picked a spot. I'm going to check it out. Just pulled up to this parking area, and there's no one here. So I'm sure there'll be some guys pull up here in a little bit, but right now there's a lot of land right here that I ain't got to worry about as much, whereas there was just a lot of pressure on that area. So just gonna make an adjustment. You've got to do that on public land. You know, sometimes word will get out and then an area is kind of good, and it's just like fishing. You know, I mean, word will get out, there's a good area of a lake that's fishing well, and they'll get pounded, and then the pressure will eventually have an effect on that. Now, there'll still be some guys kill some deer over there, and there would still be some guys catching fish in that area. But me personally, I'm always trying to look for the new area that maybe is getting hot. Maybe there's some does coming in heat. So I'm gonna keep moving around until I find an area I feel confident in, and hopefully find something I got to myself. So we're gonna go check this area out this morning, see what we got. It's 37 degrees. It's kind of on a warming trend for the next day or two, and then it's going to get back cold again. But these deer should be full freaking rut. Like, they should be running. So we'll see. Let's go check this area out. Got a good buck coming right here. Well, guys, it is what it is. I messed it up at about 7 yards, and I'm on my hands and knees, been marking blood with my another arrow for the last 3 hours. hoping that maybe I got just enough penetration to kill the deer, but I didn't. And that's all there is to it. I'm confident that the deer's probably going to live. He's probably fine. I've exhausted all efforts. I mean, I'm out here in this grass. He just come out of that buck brush. I've been trailing him in that buck brush pretty much on my hands and knees for the last 300 yards. And now he's out here in this brown grass and cut across here, and I can't. I mean, this is impossible to find pin drops of blood in. It was one thing when I had bigger leaves, but I'm just very frustrated myself. You know, I know it happens, but, you know, he had busted me, you know, like he saw me. I wasn't but 12 feet off the ground in the wide open. Really was just set up to kind of get an idea of what was going on and then move after that. But I mean, what's the chances of him walking right to my tree and busting me, quartering to me? And it was the only opportunity I had. Should I have taken it? Probably not. Could I have pushed it a little bit further forward and got it in front of his shoulder? Probably so. But in the heat of the moment, I did what I did, and it's going to eat me up for a long time. But, you know, no matter where my career goes, I want to make sure that I'm honest and real about what goes on and how it happens. And, you know, because it happens to people. And as much as I hunt, it happens to me. And it's happened to me actually a couple times this year, and I hate it. But I'm learning every time I go in the woods. I'm thankful for the opportunities to come out here and enjoy God's creation. And we're going to go regroup and get back to it. I'm going to look for a little bit longer. I'm going to make some circles through here. But I'm just running off deer at this point. I've jumped several that aren't my deer. I don't know. We're going to regroup, but this one's going to hurt for a while. I just hate it. I hate wounding an animal and not killing one efficiently. And I just got to do better. So, anyways, we're going to get out of here. All right, guys, so I felt like it was kind of important to add on to this video because I want y'all to understand exactly what went on there. My buddy actually seen that deer 2 days later, about a mile from there. He had a pretty good limp to him, but he was cruising looking for does. So the deer lived, everything was fine, which makes me feel better about the situation, but I want to learn from whenever I make mistakes in the woods. My number one mistake was that the deer's quartering to me with a bow, that shoulder exposed like that. You know, that's a iffy shot at times. But if you're gonna make that shot, it's very important that you have the right setup. And in that situation, I didn't. I'm a shorter guy, I have a 26-inch draw length. At that time, I was shooting a 365 grain arrow. Now that's total weight. It's broadhead, knock, fletchings, everything. 365 grains, shooting around 300 feet per second. But if you don't have the momentum that you need, everybody talks about kinetic energy and all that, but having that momentum is more important than I think even kinetic energy, because you can lose kinetic energy really, really quickly whenever you hit bone with an expandable broadhead. And so I had a 365 grain total setup at around 300 feet per second with an expandable broadhead, and whenever it hit that shoulder at 10 yards, I mean, it stopped instantly and only went in about this far. Since then, I've decided to change. I have went to a 200 grain single bevel cut on contact. Same arrow though. I'm able to get away with that because this arrow is only 26 inches long. It doesn't have the flex that a longer arrow would have. This is 200 grain now, so now my total setup is 465. And that's quite a difference, but you would be surprised how well this arrow flies, even out to 40 yards. And I did a lot of practicing before I decided to actually start hunting with this. And I was very impressed with how well this arrow flew. And I felt like it's a really good setup for me. This has been a learning process this year. I've had a couple bad luck instances that really taught me a lot about optimizing my setup and what works best for me, right? I hunt public land. All right, the deal with that is that a lot of times you're going to get an opportunity that may not be ideal. You're going to spend a lot of time in the woods, and sometimes that deer's not going to walk exactly from where you think he's going to walk. He's not going to stand out there in a food plot or underneath a feeder.
Yeah, there's going to be limbs in the way. You're going to have a tight arrow, you know, a tight hole to shoot through. A lot of variables there hunting public land. All right. I want to have the best chance I can at ethically killing that deer, even if the situation is not exactly ideal. And so for me, I've kind of settled in with shooting this heavier broadhead, single bevel, cut on contact. You got to spend a little bit more time making sure your arrows fly true. But whenever you get this set up right, I really feel like it's very efficient. I killed another one with it the other day, and didn't actually make the best shot on that deer, but he didn't go anywhere. So that was you know a big kind of, I guess, confidence booster for me, seeing what this arrow can do. The moral of all this is just make sure you take the time to have the best setup that you possibly can for what you're shooting, and it'll save you some grief in the woods, guys. That's for sure. I kind of had nightmares about that deer for a little while. So, but anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the woods down the road.